The lawsuits being filed across the country, staggering. We are up to 13 legal actions that have been filed in different states to try and remove President Trump from the ballot. Some are being filed by organizations, some by individuals. Only one so far out of the 13 has been dismissed from and rejected by a federal court. That happened in Florida. But that doesn't mean those individuals are done. They're trying different strategies. They're just looking for one, because one would impact all of the blue states. All of those secretaries of states would follow what that one would do. And so it's so important. You know, we're engaged right now in the intervention process in Colorado on behalf of the Colorado Republican Party. We're working with other states. Every state is different. So how we approach it legally as the ACLJ is going to be unique.
So you got to go through the Colorado system. So you got the trial court, the intermediate appellate court, which is the Colorado Court of Appeals, and the Colorado Supreme Court. That will move very quickly. Then it will go to, let's say they rule against our position and they say President Trump can't be on the ballot. We would take an emergency stay to the circuit justice of the Supreme Court. That's Justice Gorsuch. He can grant the stay, deny the stay, or refer it to the court. I would expect he would grant the stay pending disposition with the court. Then it would go to the 9 justices, the remaining 8. They would grant cert, and I don't think there's any question about that, especially if we were on the losing side. Once they grant cert, the case will then be expedited. I have done expedited cases, folks, that literally go in a matter of weeks. So this is very fast-moving litigation. I don't care if you're for Trump, against Trump, it doesn't matter. The idea that a candidate that qualifies could be removed by a self-executing ruling, basically, that the 14th Amendment, Article 3's disqualification clause, which has been used one time since 1872, it was used in 1918, to keep Trump off the ballot, should be an outrage to every American that is concerned about the right to vote and election interference. I've never seen anything like this.
It's election interference of the highest order. It's misusing the Constitution. The American public can make their own decisions in voting. We don't need these officials, these faceless bureaucrats, deploying some sort of obscure legal theory, trying to keep people off the ballot so we don't even have a choice. I mean, this was used to not allow Confederate officers. I mean, come on. This is how old and dated this is. It has nothing to do with the current situation.
1871 to be exact. It's unbelievable. I have never seen an effort like this in 43 years of practicing law, and in history, it's never happened like this. And there's been some very contentious campaigns, but we're in the primary season, and the left is moving so aggressive. 4 indictments against the former president, his poll numbers go up. So they said, well, that's not working. So what do we do now? Come up with some convoluted 1871 theory of insurrection and saying, well, it doesn't have to be decided by the court, because the one thing he hasn't been charged with, of all the things he's been charged with, has been insurrection. So you look at this, but it's horrible for the American people.
They have grabbed a hold of this in a way that is almost certain to get worse. I don't know that we can predict precisely what will happen next, but they are so determined, so focused. And those of us who are conservative believers should remember this. We should remember it because this is certainly about President Trump in particular, but this is about our ideas more broadly. This is about the things we believe about America, the reason they are so vicious, so determined, the reason they're doing these crazy things, right? They wanted to pack the Supreme Court. Right. They're now going to try and disqualify an American citizen from running for president of the United States under a crackpot theory on the 14th Amendment that is somehow self-executing, whatever they actually think that means. This is a determined effort, the likes of which we haven't seen, and is something we're all going to have to work our tails off to make sure doesn't become the dominant political force in America.
Well, you just said something, working our tails off on this, and the truth of the matter is, Mr. Secretary, we've deployed lawyers in Colorado. We've got our team in Washington, and you've worked with them before, and we've got our Supreme Court team is already looking at all these, because that's where it's going to end up going, and they're going to move very quickly.
It's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to just decide, you know what, I'm going to go do something. This is going to take thoughtful, determined, strategic response. Places like the ACLJ, the work that is done here, it's going to take capable people in lots of places who say, no, this is worth fighting for. This is something we're going to engage in. We are not going to let them roll us. But if we all become discouraged or aren't prepared to do the things we need to do, they'll prevail. And that is really bad for our kids and grandkids here in America.
It sure is.